Hello, hi everyone, Kelvin here from London. Stereo Review X is my channel where I review vintage, hi-fi. Occasionally I'll review something that's modern or new. And if you look on my channel, you'll see lots of videos about other equipment and tips and how-tos and stuff like that. Okay, today we're going to review this Sansui 441. Now on your screen that's probably flashing, by the way, but it's not flashing here, it's just something to do with the camera. So this is Sansui 441. That's also a Sansui 441. I bought this because I bought one for £75, that's about $90, a couple of years ago. I liked it so much I landed up buying another one because this went for £45. Yes, you know, people spend that on cables, yeah. And I actually have the whole range of these apart from the 221. So I have 331 up to 881. Because the thing about these receivers is somehow they haven't caught hold of the attention. Yeah. You know, somehow they just haven't got noticed. Whereas this up here, which is a Sansui 101, AU 101, which I'm going to kind of compare and contrast it with, this is kind of more famous. Yeah, this is sort of people know about this amp quite a lot, but these receivers in this range somehow or other they just didn't get the attention, or haven't got the attention. Okay, so price wise, yeah, you should get one of these nowadays. I would imagine you'll get one for £100, like maybe what's that, $125, you know, and that's a real good deal if you ask me. In fact, yeah, two people actually, because I talk about Sansui quite a lot on this channel, two people have written in telling me that they bought Sansuis in this range, and one guy said he was flabbergasted, yeah, and another guy said he couldn't believe it. And how much, you know, just how good he sounded. I know one guy got a 101 and I think the other guy got a 221. One guy said he's flabbergasted and the other guy was, he couldn't believe it, you know, because it's only like, it's cheap basically, you know, $150 max, you know. Anyway, let me do, okay, another thing worth mentioning, wattage. Okay, this may be why these receivers don't go for a ton of money. This is rated at 11 watts, yeah? So you probably think, oh, that's no good. It's fine for most purposes, honestly. You know, if you don't know, anything from the 70s, they rated things differently, the way they measured things. So when something's from 1970s and it says 15 watts, it's exactly like something that's 30 watts today. They've just cheated on the statistics nowadays. But honestly, if you think 11 watts, unless you know you've got hard to drive speakers, if you've got vintage speakers, Kevs, Wattage, anything normal, anything remotely normal, you will not have trouble with this unless you like to go loud, you know. But if you're normal kind of living room things where there are neighbours, I think you'll be okay. And so don't be put off by that 11 watts, you know. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the sound. I'll do it in one short version and then I go into a lot of detail about it. So put simply, I really love the sound of this amp, I've got to tell you. It's sweet. It's dynamic, it's surprisingly good for the cost. I mean, really surprisingly good. Vocals are nice and clean, it's clean sounding. Anyway, we'll go into detail now, the way I usually do, which is go through a bunch of songs, and you can play those songs at home if you want. And you know, by the end of me talking about these songs, you will probably know what this amp sounds like. Or this receiver, I should say. By the way, it's got phono, of course, you know, for your turntable, and aux, you know, which is where you could plug in your CD or whatever. And also, you've obviously got tape monitor, mono, and a loudness button. Everything else is kind of bog standard, yeah. Okay, so into these songs, right. So, first song I did with this time, I did Witchy Woman by the Eagles, yeah. What I do is I just read from my notes and literally repeat what I wrote at the time. Also, it's the best way I found, okay. So, Witchy Woman, the Eagles. Nice acoustic sound in the bass, yeah. So the bass has got detail. The bass isn't thuddy and, you know, boo boo boo, you know, some, you know, cheaper, not good amps. That's what you get. You get a kind of one note thing going on in the bass. You might feel it, but you're not getting the definition. And you know, Sansuis are pretty famous for being good in the sort of upper bass area, which is good for kind of getting hold of rhythms, and you know it's an area where some 70s amps really don't deliver. Anyway, okay, Witchy Woman, nice acoustic sound in the bass, very big harmonies. The harmonies are coming out really kind of big and clear there. I put here, it might be that these harmonies are a little bit bigger than they should be, yeah? And this is, I'm dealing in fine details here. I mean, I actually like it, you know, and it doesn't really, no one's going to say all those harmonies are too loud, but I'm talking small detail. But you know, those things that somehow might be too quiet, they come out loud and clear, let's say that. Okay, next song is Too High, Stevie Wonder. I've got here, it's alive, it's really lively, yeah? I mean, in a way you could say with this receiver, they've traded a little bit of, you know, hate to use this word, distortion, but what they've got is so much life and a lot of space, yeah? It makes a lot of space, this sound. I mean, when I say the word distortion, if you put this receiver onto some modern speakers that were £5,000, that wouldn't be the thing to do, yeah? That wouldn't work, you know, especially modern revealing, super revealing speakers. Even though this is smooth sounding, but you know, that kind of high pixelated analysis is not what you would do with this amp. I mean, any big nice pair of speakers, Spender BC1s, you know, loads of ordinary speakers, just not great big highly refined, you know, dry modern sounding things, yeah? Because, you know, this is a 100-watt amp, you know, but it, you know, don't get me wrong, it sounds gorgeous, but you know, there are limitations to what it can do. So Stevie Wonder, it's alive, good bass articulation, the vocals are nice, it's airy. The cymbal, there's a cymbal that goes off on the right hand side of this song, right hand side, right hand speaker. Cymbal is great, it's highly enjoyable. Okay, I put here, is not as refined as my Name power amp, yeah, Name Nap power amp, which of course it shouldn't be, because that costs 5 times as much money. Having said that, on the right pair of speakers, I'm not sure, I think I may well prefer this, you know. It's a little bit forward sounding, it's just very enjoyable. That's probably the best thing I can say. I mean, I know that's not a detailed description, but it's very enjoyable. And when I compare it to the Name starts getting a bit dry and analytical. And you know, this is not lacking in detail. If I don't want to make it sound like it's a slouch and it's not delivering. You know, it's a really good thing. Okay, Alison Krauss, Now That I Found You. Voice is great, dynamic, it's interesting and not flat, yeah? Interesting stuff in the bass, you're getting the interest going on down there, yeah? It's not flat and dry, which is what I would complain about some modern amps. Okay, this is an interesting one. This is interesting. And don't forget, this is only 11 watts, but my God, if I just told you this is 30 watts, you'd probably just believe me, yeah? So don't worry about that too much. Next song I did is a song called Black Man by Stevie Wonder. It's on Songs of the Key of Life. It is a super funky song. There are so many funny noises going on. Please listen to that song. If you've got big speakers or you want to like test out your hi-fi, this is a great song to do it on, particularly at the beginning. So many funny noises. And this 441, very funky, good lower bass detail. It's still doing that lower bass pretty damn good, you know, which kind of surprised me. And it's clean sounding, yeah? This amp is clean sounding. Things are spaced out. You can hear all the different instruments. You know, it's nice. My reservations about it, it's just like, if you could get this sound and improve it, like refine it in fine detail by like 5%, you'd have a fantastic amp. That would be, you know, that would be like probably, you know, probably, what do they call it? You know, the last amp you buy, or you know, the one you'd be super happy with, and you know. So I'm expressing slight reservations, but don't get me wrong. It sounds really nice. So yeah, Black Man, Stevie Wonder, very funky, good lower bass, space, sounding. I mean, hearing a couple of little bits of detail that I haven't heard before, and it's just really clear and nice. And you know, listen to that song. It's a good test for your hi-fi. Okay, that's kind of it for that. So let me just talk about a comparison, yeah, between this AU101 and this 441. This is, and was probably designed purposely to have a kind of valve sound, yeah. So the vocals on here, they're nice, they're a little bit backwards, you know, a little bit recessed, and this probably does finer detail better. So if you had revealing, tricky speakers, that might be a bit better. I mean, these are still not expensive amps, by the way, but you know, regarding the sound, this is valvey. The bass may be a bit softer on this. This has got a bit more grip in the bass. They don't really sound like there's any difference in the power when you play them. If anything, this sounds a bit more robust, you know. This definitely sounds valvey. I mean, this doesn't sound transistory, because that's a kind of insult, but compared to that, this sounds not like a valve thing, yeah. If I was to say which one I prefer this. I prefer this. I think it's really magical, honestly. Okay, so what would I say? Just to sum this whole thing up, I would say this amp is super enjoyable. Things like vocals, finger picking on guitars, it's really good, really good. You know, it's £100 or $130, something like that. You should get one for. And I would say, you know, if you're looking for a second system, I mean, if you're a real audiophile, right, you would buy this, and probably for two reasons. One, it might be your second system, and two, you might just buy it just to go, wow, this is an incredible sounding thing for the price. And it's very enjoyable, you know, it's just really nice, and vocals are really good. I think you'd be really surprised. So yeah, okay, that's about it. Subscribe if you like, and if you look on my channel, you'll see lots of links to other reviews and tips. That's it. Okay, it's so good I bought two. Alright, bye for now.